History of Angkorwat. Temple complex in Cambodia. Front side of the main complex. Angkorwat, Khmer, city/capital of temples, is a temple complex in Cambodia, located on a site measuring 162.6 hectares, 16,26,000 square meters, 402 acres. The Guinness World Records considers it as the largest religious structure in the world. Originally constructed as a Hindu temple dedicated to the god Vishnu for the Khmer Empire by King Suryavarman II during the 12th century. It was gradually transformed into a Buddhist temple towards the end of the century. As such, it is also described as a Hindu-Buddhist temple. Angkorwat was built at the behest of the Khmer King Suryavarman II in the early 12th century near Yashodharapura, Khmer, present-day Angkor, the capital of the Khmer Empire. As his state temple and eventual mausoleum. Angkorwat combines two basic plans of Khmer temple architecture, the Temple Mountain and the later Galleried Temple. It is designed to represent Mount Meru, home of the Devas in Hindu mythology, within a moat more than 5 kilometers, 3 miles, long and an outer wall 3.6 kilometers, 2.2 miles, long. Are three rectangular galleries, each raised above the next. At the center of the temple stands a quincunx of towers. Unlike most Cambodia temples, Angkorwat is oriented to the west. Scholars are divided as to the significance of this. The temple is admired for the grandeur and harmony of the architecture, its extensive bas-reliefs, and for the numerous devitas adorning its walls. The modern name Angkorwat, alternatively Nokorwat, 7, means temple city or city of temples in Khmer. Angkor, meaning city or capital city, is a vernacular form of the word Nokor, which comes from the Sanskrit/Pali word Nagara, Devanagari. But, both, is the word for temple grounds, also derived from Sanskrit/Pali Vata, Devanagari, meaning enclosure. The original name of the temple was Graha Vishnuloka or Parma Vishnuloka, meaning the sacred dwelling of Vishnu. History. Angkorwat lies 5.5 kilometers, 3 plus 12 miles, north of the modern town of Siem, and a short distance south and slightly east of the previous capital, which was centered at Babmo. In an area of Cambodia where there is an essential group of ancient structures, it is the southernmost of Angkor's main sites. The construction of Angkorwat took place over 28 years from 1122 to 1150 CE during the reign of King Suryavarman II, ruled 1113 CE. 1150. A Brahmin by the name of Divakar Pandita, 1040 CE. 1120, was responsible for urging Suryavarman II to construct the temple. All of the original religious motifs at Angkor were derived from Hinduism. Breaking from the shared tradition of previous kings, Angkorwat was instead dedicated to Vishnu. It was built as the king's state temple and capital city. As neither the foundation stela nor any contemporary inscriptions referring to the temple have been found, its original name is unknown. But it may have been known as Vara Vishnu Lok after the presiding deity. Work seems to have ended shortly after the king's death, leaving some of the bas-relief decoration unfinished. The term Brihvisnuloka or Parma Visnuloka literally means the king who has gone to the supreme world of Vishnu, which referred to Suryavarman II posthumously and intend to venerate his glory and memory. In 1177, approximately 27 years after the death of Suryavarman II, Angkor was sacked by the Khams, the traditional enemies of the Khmer. Thereafter the empire was restored by a new king, Jayavarman VII, who established a new capital and state temple, Angkor Thom and the Bayon, respectively. A few kilometers north, dedicated to Buddhism, because the king believed that the Hindu gods had failed him. Angkorwat was therefore also gradually converted into a Buddhist site, and many Hindu sculptures were replaced by Buddhist art. Towards the end of the 12th century, Angkorwat gradually transformed from a Hindu center of worship to Buddhism, which continues to the present day. Angkorwat is unusual among the Angkor temples in that although it was largely neglected after the 16th century, it was never completely abandoned. 14 inscriptions dated from the 17th century, discovered in the Angkor area, testify to Japanese Buddhist pilgrims that had established small settlements alongside Khmer locals. At that time, the temple was thought by the Japanese visitors to be the famed Jitavana Garden of the Buddha, which was originally located in the Kingdom of Magha, India. The best-known inscription tells of Ukundayu Kajufusa, who celebrated the Khmer New Year at Angkorwat in 1632. Carving of Vishnu churning the sea of milk. Monks in front of the reflection pool at Angkorwat, Cambodia. One of the first Western visitors to the temple was Antonio da Madalena, a Portuguese friar who visited in 1586. And said that it is of such extraordinary construction that it is not possible to describe it with a pen, particularly since it is like no other building in the world. It has towers and decoration and all the refinements which the human genius can conceive of. In 1622, the poem of Angkorwat composed in Khmer verse describes the beauty of Angkorwat and creates a legend around the construction of the complex. Supposedly a divine castle built for legendary Khmer king Praketmila by Hindu god Pravisnukar or Brahvisnukar, Vishwakarman, as Suryavarman II had already vanished from people's minds. In 1860, with the help of French missionary Father Charles-Émile Bourbaux, the temple was effectively rediscovered by the French naturalist and explorer Henri Mou, who popularized the site in the West through the publication of travel notes, in which he wrote, "One of these temples, a rival to that of Solomon, and erected by some ancient Michelangelo, might take an honorable place beside our most beautiful buildings. It is grander than anything left to us by Greece or Rome, and presents a sad contrast to the state of barbarism in which the nation is now plunged." In 1861, German anthropologist Adolf Bastian undertook a 4-year trip to Southeast Asia. His account of this trip, The People of East Asia, ran to 6 volumes. When Bastian finally published the studies and observations during his journey through Cambodia to Cochin China and Germany in 1868, told in detail but uninspiredly. Above all, without a single one of his drawings of the Angkoria sites, this work hardly made an impression, while everyone was talking about Henri Mou's posthumous. That work with vivid descriptions of Angkor, travels in the central parts of Indochina, Siam, Cambodia and Laos, published in 1864 through the Royal Geographical Society. There were no ordinary dwellings or houses or other signs of settlement, including cooking utensils, weapons, or items of clothing usually found at ancient sites. The artistic legacy of Angkorwat and other Khmer monuments in the Angkor region led directly to France adopting Cambodia as a protectorate on the 11th of August 1863 and invading Siam to take control of ruins. This quickly led to Cambodia reclaiming lands in the northwestern corner of the country such as the areas of Siem Reap, Battambang and Sisophon which were under Siamese rule from 1795 to 1907. Please subscribe to our channel for travel updates.